Hello. So sometimes before COVID, I was in a restaurant and the owner of the restaurant came and talked to me, and he was very, very nice. And I told him, look, I have to tell you something. When I was a graduate student, I really wanted to work as a waiter. I really wanted to. And I went to a couple of restaurants in town and I interviewed for a waiter position. But, I have very strange looking hands. And they asked me, how would you carry something? And I showed them, and anyway, they didn't like it. They thought I would look too strange, it wouldn't be good. So I didn't get a job as a waiter. I said, since then, it's been many years, I've been wanting to be a waiter. Would you give me a job? So he looked at me and he said, you know what? This restaurant is a little bit too good for you to start as a waiter. He said, but I have another restaurant, not as good, more basic. Why don't you come and be a waiter there? I said, great. And then he said, why don't you try two things? Try being a waiter for a few days and try to be a bartender for a few days. Anyway, I had that experience. I was a bartender for a few days and I was a waiter for a few days, and I learned a lot in the process. But the one thing I want to tell you today is about one of the main differences that I experience as a bartender versus a waiter. And the starting point for the difference is when you're a bartender, you're basically at the same height as the customers and you look them straight in the eyes, right? So it's a human connection. When you're a waiter, you stand up, people are sitting, you look at them from the top, and they don't necessarily look you in the eyes, right? Imagine it's a table with lots of people. Maybe some people can watch you, but it's not the same one-on-one relationship. Like if two people are sitting in the bar, you talk to the one, then you move, you talk to the other one. In a table, you stand in one place and you talk to everybody. The difference I felt was that in the bar, people treated me much more as a human being. There was kind of another human being on the other side. There was consideration, there was a bit more discussion, a bit more chatting. Whereas on the tables, it felt much more I was an employee. I wasn't another human being that was helping them out, giving them good service. I was an employee. It was more dismissive. At some point, one of the customers spilled something and I was cleaning it. As I was cleaning what they were spilling, they were completely ignoring me. There was no thank you, there was nothing. There was like feeling of, here we are to being served and you are a server. In a bar, you're not a server, you are a human being. And I wonder where else does this show up? Restaurants are kind of an example of what happens when we look each other in the eyes. What happens when we acknowledge the humanity of the other person. So what are the cases in which there are people around us that we don't start with this physical? The thing is, it's the same thing. Just the physical environment is different. And because of that, I think the acknowledgement of the other person as human is different. And the way we treat each other is different. So what else would we design differently if we thought about that, right? What would we design in terms of hospitals with these, the glass separation and people kind of talking at us through that pass, people sitting above us, below us, not at eye level. What about court, where there's a different height? Going to City Hall. Anyway, I think there's lots of things where the construction of the interaction could lead to different recognition of humanity and therefore leads to either better or worse outcomes. So do better design that always tries to maximize our recognition of humanity, of ourselves and of the other side. Bye for now.